All right, so we're going to estimate the quotient for 503 divided by 68. And the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to estimate my divisor 68. So 68 is going to round to 70. So the first thing I did. Now the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write some multiples of 70. And it's really easy to write multiples of 70. Just write some multiples of 7. So we have 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49. And we'll zoom out a little bit here so we have some space to continue writing. 56, 60, 63, and then 70. But remember, we want to write multiples of our divisor 70. So I'm just going to add a 0 behind each one of my multiples here. So now I have multiples of 70. Okay, so I have some multiples. And now what I want to do is I want to choose two multiples that are going to get me the closest I can get to 503. So I'm going to go with 490. That's only 13 away from 503. And then I'm going to go with 560. I know 560 seems like it's a lot bigger than 503, but it's actually closer to 503 than 420 is. So I'm going to go with my two multiples here, 490 and 560, but I'm not done. So let's zoom this out just a little more here. So I'm not quite finished yet. So now what I need to do is, and this is kind of my third step here, is I'm going to take my two multiples I chose, and I'm going to divide them by 70. So notice that I'm dividing by 70, which is my rounded divisor, and not 68. Okay, so I need to figure out what 490 divided by 70 is, and I need to figure out what 560 divided by 70 is, and when I do, those will be my two estimated quotients. So the first thing I'm going to do here is to make it easier on myself. I'm going to color in on my zeros. And this is not going to look perfect, but you're going to get the idea, I hope. So we're going to color these zeros in. And so now once I have my zeros colored in, it's a lot easier to see what my basic fact is. So I have 49 divided by 7, and then I have 56 divided by 7. And if you don't know your division basic facts, it's all right. As long as you have your list of multiples, it's going to be easy to figure out what the quotient for both of these division problems is going to be. So 49 divided by 7, if I just start at my 70 and I count down until I get to 490, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I know 49 divided by 7 is 7. I'm trying to make that 7 look a little better. There we go. Okay, so now here comes the question of, well, do I need to put a 0 behind that 7 or two zeros? What do I do here? We'll take a look at 490. There's only one 0 in that dividend. And then if you look at the 70, there's only one 0 with that divisor. And because subtraction is kind of like the cousin of division, we're actually going to subtract the number of zeros in the dividend from the number of zeros in the divisor, and that's going to tell us how many zeros we need to put in the quotient. So since 1 minus 1 is 0, we actually have to put no zeros in our quotient. So the answer is just going to be plain old regular 7. And then if we drop down to the 560 divided by 70, we have that 56 circled and the 7 circled. So we're going to do 56 divided by 7. And if you know that basic division fact, that's great. But if you need to use your multiples to tell you what 56 divided by 7 is, that's okay too. So I'm just going to count my multiples until I get to 560 or 56. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the 8th multiple of 7 or 70 is 56 or 560. So 56 divided by 8 is, or 7 is going to be 8. Let me do a better job drawing this 8 here. Here we go. And then we're going to do the same thing we did up above with the 490 divided by 70. There's only 1 0 in the 560, 1 0 in the 70. We subtract. We find the difference in the number of zeros between the dividend and the divisor. We see that the difference is actually 0, and so we do not have to put any zeros behind our 8. So I'm going to go ahead and circle so we can see 7 and 8 are the estimated quotients. So what does that mean? Well, we can expect that the actual quotient of 503 divided by 68 to be somewhere around 7 or 8. And we can actually figure out which estimate is going to be the closest to the actual answer by taking a look at the two dividends that we use to find our estimated quotients. So we have 490 and 560. Well, 490 is going to be closer to 503 than 560 is. So that means that 7, I'm just going to put some extra circles around here. 7 is going to be the closest of the two estimates. So we should expect that 503 divided by 68 is going to be closer to 7 than 8. So hopefully this makes dividing quotients more clear.